Hello, and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, departing from our normal routine, and we're going to talk about public safety here in the city of Long Beach, and we're going to go through the 911 Communication Center. So if you'll come with me, we'll just take a tour of the center and see how we're protected. Okay, and joining me now is Charles Cobley. He is going to give us a tour here of the center. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is a fairly new facility?
Yes, this opened in late October of 2003. Excuse me, 2004.
Now, I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with the center, because when I went through the Citizens Police Academy, we toured your old facility in the basement of City Hall. It was dark, there were no windows, and when it rained, it leaked. And this is such a marked improvement.
Yeah, this has helped everyone that works here, not only getting out of the basement and being able to be out in the daytime, but this has improved the citizens of Long Beach ability to reach police services.
Now, is this young lady taking incoming calls?
Yes, Judy is at a telephone position where she is ready. You can see on her screen the button says ready. She's ready to receive incoming calls as people call the police department, whether it's 911 or 7-digit. Those calls automatically come into Judy when she tells the computer she's ready, and it does it in a pattern so that everyone shares the workload equally.
And we want to make sure we do not film any of the addresses there in the middle screen when they pop up.
Right, just in case one comes in not up close.
Okay. Now, how many stations do you have?
We have 21 telephone stations and 10 radio positions.
Okay. And how many are manned each day?
It depends on the time of day. We have a minimum staffing level. Our busiest time is in the afternoon, so they have more people. 14 people at a time is the minimum staffing in afternoons. Right now, where it's not quite as busy on the day shift, we have a minimum of 10 right now.
Okay. Now, am I correct in assuming that any public telephone you can dial 911 without cost?
That's absolutely correct. Any pay phone, you can pick it up, dial 911, those calls will ring right here.
Okay. And when a call comes in, the phone number of the calling party pops up?
Phone number and address of the location comes right to our screen, so we can assist them if they can't talk or if they're having a medical problem, we can get them help.
Okay. You're open 24/7. How long is the shift here?
We work a 10-hour shift, 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. So they do have 3 days off a week.
This is just remarkable how large and airy and bright it is up here.
It's wonderful. We can adjust the lighting in here at any time of the day or night so that it's comfortable for the folks working in here. And as Judy processes telephone calls, they leave her terminal and go to a radio dispatcher for dispatch out to a police unit.
You know, so many times I've gone to neighborhood association meetings, neighborhood watch meetings, and they always tell us, regardless of what the problem is, dial 911 and not the non-emergency number. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. In Long Beach, Judy can take 7-digit, the 435-6711 call, or a 911 call. It comes into the same telephone console. So it doesn't matter to us whether they call 911 or our 7-digit number, because they come to the same operator, so we can provide them the same service.
Now, this is the police department section.
That's correct.
And there's a separate section for the fire department.
Right next door is the fire department.
Okay. So if I call 911, how are they going to distinguish whether it should go to the police department or the fire department?
If you call 911 anywhere in the city of Long Beach, those calls come directly to this center, to the police side. Once we determine you have a medical emergency, or if you tell me you're having a heart attack or whatever the problem is, we hit one button on our telephone console. It transfers right over to a fire dispatcher.
Can we film her and listen to her giving...
Absolutely.
Is that possible?
Judy is taking a call right now.
All right. Hold on. Let me go ahead and I'm going to send the tone deaf a message. Hold on.
Now, this is how Judy communicates with other people in the room. She's sending a message from her terminal to another position here in the room that has previously ordered a tow truck so that she can get information and help our tow operators locate where they need to go.
Oh, What kind of training is required for someone to
We-
be in this position?
When a new person starts with us, we have a 5-week classroom academy where we teach them the basics, which includes call codes, geography of the city, information they're going to need to handle incoming telephone calls, how they handle emergencies. Then after the classroom training, they come into our center, and for 10 weeks they plug into a console with an experienced operator and begin experiencing every type of call. At the end of 10 weeks, generally, people are what we call phone solo, or ready to go on their own as far as phone work is concerned. We then move them to the radio operation, where they spend the remainder of their 12-month probationary period learning to take radio calls, dispatch the calls that the phone call people take, and to receive information over the radio from officers in the field.
Now, are they on rotating shifts because you're open 24 hours a day?
New people, when they come in, we switch them among the shifts during their first year, because every shift handles a little different type of calls. Day shift is more routine kind of calls. Afternoons and graveyards is when most of the murders and that kind of thing happen. So they do rotate among these shifts during their first year, but after that, once a year we sign up for shifts based on seniority.
Oh.
Okay, what is your name?
And these calls just keep coming and coming and coming.
We average about between 1,500 and 2,000 calls a day. Last year we took just under 700,000 calls here in the center.
Now, this is the communication center for the city of Long Beach. So in a case of a citywide emergency, an earthquake or some major catastrophe, this would become the communication center for the city?
Well, downstairs in this building is what's called the Emergency Operating Center, and that's where they have a center for all city department heads, the police chief, the city manager, those folks who would come to this building and begin city operations in any kind of a disaster, where they would manage an earthquake or a riot or whatever the situation is. We would, of course, assist them any way we could, but we would continue to do our business here like we regularly do, plus anything else they needed us to do.
You know, the thought crossed my mind that if you can dial 911 from any public phone free,
Do you know what the license plate number
do you get
is?
many crank
Okay.
or
All right, we'll get somebody else.
phone calls that are not legit?
We average about 100 calls a day from pay telephones that are kids either on their way to school or on their way home, that they just pass a telephone, pick it up and dial 911, leave it hanging and go on their way. So we do have a lot of those calls.
And that takes officers off the street that might be responding to another emergency situation.
Yes, if we can tell if it's a prank, like kids laughing or just make comments to us, we will not respond. But anytime we think there's any chance of an emergency, we will respond to a police officer out there.
Now, if you get a call and then they hang up, do you call back or do you do a verification or?
Absolutely. If someone calls from a residence, for example, the information that comes on our screen on a 911 call indicates whether it's from a residence, a business, or a payphone. If it's from a residence, we'll call back, try and make contact with a party there. If we're not successful, we send an officer, lights and siren, out to that house to find out what the problem is. On payphones, if we call back and there's not an answer and it's during daytime hours, we will not respond to those calls. But businesses and residences, we always respond if we call back and cannot get an answer.
Now, you're wearing a uniform that looks like a police officer's uniform, but you're not an actual police.
No, sir, I'm a civilian employee for the department.
You just look official.
Well, we think that it helps the esprit de corps among the employees here, helps us all to look good and do our jobs well.
It's very quiet up here for having so many terminals, too.
The nice thing here is there's no ringing telephones in here because the calls automatically come into an an operator's headset. There's no ringing sound, so it is nice. It's quiet in here, and you can do your job without a lot of background noise.
Now, if I'd call 911 on my cell phone, does it take longer to get through than it does from a stationary phone?
Yes, it does. Currently, if you call 911 from your cell phone, your call is going to go to the California Highway Patrol, who then must figure out what jurisdiction you're in and transfer your call to that local agency. We hope sometime in the next few months or by the end of this year that we may begin receiving those calls directly. That is in process in the state of California.
So there are some drawbacks to cell phones.
Absolutely. We encourage
Besides
people...
talking in the grocery store.
or the movies. We encourage people to program our 7-digit number into their cell phone so that if they have to call, they can call us directly.
Could we run down and take a look at the equipment room, and then I want to go downstairs and see how the building is built, because I understand that not a square inch of this building is sitting on land.
That's correct, and we'll go down there right now.
That's remarkable. All right, let's go. Okay, and joining me now is Liz Battle. This is the Fire Communication Center?
Yes, it is.
You know, I have to tell you how impressed I am with this, because when I went through the academy, Citizens Police Academy, we went through your center up on Peterson.
Right.
And I remember that it should have been a disaster zone. And they said that the equipment was so old that there were no replacement parts. They had to make them themselves.
That is very true.
What a change.
It's a great change. We're very, very pleased with this new facility.
Now, how many stations do you have here?
We have 11 stations.
And how many are manned most of the time?
5.
5. And you handle all the medical emergencies?
That's correct. We handle fires, medicals, hazardous materials.
This is just an impressive building.
Yes.
And you have your own kitchen area over there?
We do. Our dispatchers, because they're always working, we don't actually leave the center so they can make a quick snack and use whatever resources are necessary and then come back and go straight back to work. So if the phone rings and we get very busy, someone can run right back in and grab a headset.
Ever get distracted by watching the airplanes land?
Frequently. We actually love the new view. Mm-hmm.
Well, I must say I am impressed, Liz, with your facility, and it's about time Long Beach had a state-of-the-art communication center.
We think so. We think that the citizens deserve it. It serves a great purpose, and we're
And you
really
guys do a
pleased.
fantastic job.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now this is the equipment room.
Right. This is where all the equipment that operates the entire center is located.
Nice. Now, what are the banks of computers here on the table for?
These are various computers that control the systems in the center, server computers that technicians can go.
Here we go. Oh, wow, look at the cables, the wires.
It was amazing watching them build this building, how they came in here and kept track of all the wiring, where it went. And it's amazing how they did it in the racks.
I can't even imagine how many miles of wire there are coming out of here.
It's just amazing watching the technicians that came in here and built this building. All of the telephone lines come in and plug in on the wall.
One would certainly need a mechanical degree to put this together.
Yeah, there were how many vendors here? 4 or 5 different vendors that came in and operated on this.
23 different systems, so multiple vendors were here at any given time working in every area.
We're adding Diane to our group right here.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, can we go down below and look at how the building was built and
Certainly.
what it's setting on? Because I think that's fantastic.
Okay,
Let's go. Now we're going down into the bowels of the center. Now explain to me how the building was built.
The building sits completely on base isolation. There are 24 base isolators that hold up the building. And
Are these the round things here?
Yes, they act pretty much like shock absorbers. They're a combination of rubber and steel, and they're designed to shift 30 inches in any direction in the event of an earthquake. No part of this building actually sits on the ground. The entire building is supported by these base isolators. So when you look at things like the stairwell and you see that the stairs don't even touch the floor, all the way around the building on the outside is some skirting that covers the opening so that when the ground shifts or the building shifts, nothing hits the side of the earth, nothing goes out far enough to hit the ground on any side of the building.
I can't believe how clean it is down here if we're not setting on the ground.
Well, there isn't anywhere where natural elements can really get in here because of the skirting that's around there. When it rains, this doesn't get any water, or we've not had any kind of a rodent problem or any of those kinds of things. It is very clean down here.
Has there been an earthquake here in Long Beach since you moved in here?
There have actually been several.
And have you noticed the movement in the building?
Very little. Very little. I have a plant hanging in my office. I noticed the plant swinging was how I became aware. And another time I happened to be on the telephone with someone who was at City Hall who said, "Oh my gosh, we're having an earthquake." And I did not feel it at all.
Well, this is really a remarkable building. I'm very impressed with all the thought that went into the design of this building and how much nicer it is than your old facility.
It is amazing, isn't it? This building actually also houses the Emergency Operations Center for the City of Long Beach. And in the event of a huge disaster, city managers, city management staff, department heads, and their representatives would come here and work as a team to put the city back together and keep things functioning while the city was being repaired, so to speak.
Now, if there were a major catastrophe and this became the command central and they had to stay here for a period of time, are there facilities for them to stay overnight?
There are. I don't believe that it's fully equipped yet, but there is a room on the first floor where cots can be brought in. There's a full kitchen on the first floor. There's a washer and dryer for doing laundry and maintaining people's creature comforts during that period of time. There are hookups outside, both for the press and for the Red Cross to come, and they would come and provide us with food and anything else we needed.
So you're in good shape here.
I think so. I think so.
Well, I want to thank you, Diane, because I think this is most impressive, and Charles, you too, because I've been wanting to come down here and see it, because I remember what the old places looked like, and this is remarkable.
Underground for 25 years. This is a huge improvement. The employees are very grateful.
Must be a joy now to come to work.
It is. It really is. This is an awesome facility. We're very happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Long Beach Treasures.
Buonos, authentic pizzeria. Ah, the food, abbondanza, buonissimo. The #1 rated pizza in Long Beach. Mamma mia, our sauces are so good, they are gonna bring a tear to your eye. Try our magnifico lunch buffet. We are right across from the City Hall on Ocean Boulevard. The same great food at our other location on Willow Street. Buonos, buon appetito.
And welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. And joining me now is Sergeant Jeff Garcia. I guess you're the helicopter pilot.
How you doing, Harvey?
Good.
Yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Now tell me about your job.
Well, job basically right now I'm the supervisor for the air support unit, and I have to coordinate the training and make sure that our pilots are flying above our air, securing our city, and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, and occasionally I get to fly. Usually fly about 2-3 days a week. So I get a good opportunity to fly around the city and see what kind of problems we can seek out.
Now you're not in the air 24/7, right?
No, sir. We're basically in the air 7 days a week, and we fly basically from 8:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the morning. So basically there's about a 4-hour gap there that we don't fly. But other than that, we're there 7 days a week.
Now, are you in the air constantly during that period of time, or off and on?
No, off and on. We during each shift, there's a shift of 10 hours, and out of that 10 hours, we fly 5 of those hours. So in other words, we're actually in the air 5 hours out of the 10-hour shift. and that's pretty much call driven. If there's calls going for service, we hop right back in the air, but we usually fly up about an hour and a half, and due to pilot fatigue, we come down, take a rest, go back up a half hour later, but sometimes as soon as we get down, we get a call, we go right back up.
Now I see this holds 7 passengers. How many are normally on a crew as you're flying?
Usually just 2. We have the pilot and the flight tactical officer, who the pilot on the ship pretty much just flies the aircraft, communicates with the tower, the airport tower, and the flight tactical officer is responsible for all of the communications with the ground units, with the watch commander. He also has to operate the spotlight, the forward-looking infrared system we have, which is known as FLIR, where we can spot people in the dark, and basically all the communication with the PA and coordinating with the ground units. So it's quite a big job there.
Is he a qualified pilot also?
Yes. Everybody in the units are pilots. The people that aren't pilots come in the unit get trained when they get in the unit. So within about a year's time, when they come to our unit, they're training in the flight tactical officer mode, and then they slowly start heading into the pilot training.
Do you fly fixed wing also?
No, sir, we don't.
Oh, I was just curious which would be easiest to fly.
No, we don't. We don't have any fixed wing aircraft.
Now, I understand what looks like a computer over there. You can punch in an address and it brings up.
Basically what the flight tactical officer does when he's trying to find an address that we can't find. Usually, you'd be surprised after flying up in here, as much as we do, we know the street's pretty good. Now, we might not know the exact number of the address, but we're pretty good at getting the right number, believe it or not, because we're just so used to some of the houses that we get calls from are a constant call. We get calls there every month or every week, so we kind of know the houses.
At what altitude do you fly?
We fly at between 500 and 1,000 feet, depending on our mission. Standard day shift, we're usually flying at 700 feet. We come down to 500 feet when we get a call so we can see better. At nighttime, we try to get up close to 1,000 feet just because of the noise.
So you have good visibility at 500 feet?
Absolutely. We can pretty much see everything we need to see at that altitude. And with the sophisticated binoculars we have now, we can pretty much see everything, read license plates, facial features, and everything. And this area here, this is the actual computer screen that controls all 3 of our systems. Our mapping system, which is the system you talked about. Basically, we don't know where we're going and we don't know where our address is. We just punch it right in the keyboard, just like you would do at home, and punch in the address, and almost immediately the address comes up. It gives us a GPS coordinate, tells us which way to go, tells us how many seconds, how many minutes it'll take us to get there with our current altitude and speed. And it's invaluable to us, because the addresses that we don't go to or we don't get to see that much, we couldn't do it without this mapping system. So the screen does the mapping system. We can also flip it to the video, which we can take actual live video on the ground of, let's say, a police pursuit. And we are required to film all police pursuits from the aircraft. And we give that to the watch commander when we're done with the pursuit, so they can look at it, see if there's anything that they need to, improve on, or any kind of department violation that might have occurred down on the surface.
What's your normal airspeed?
Normal airspeed is about 60 knots.
So how long would it take you to get from, say, the peninsula to North Long Beach?
We can get from one end of the city to the other, just like you said, in about just under 3 minutes.
Wow, that's moving.
So that's moving. Our top speed is around 154 knots.
And this helicopter is a little different than some of them because the tail rotor is a lot different?
We have what's called a fence-drawn tail rotor, and basically it's a rotorless system. It's a rotor within a rotor, and the reason why we got this helicopter is because it was the quietest helicopter made, bar none in the entire world. Not only did it meet our performance standards, but it was a very quiet helicopter.
And I understand this helicopter, when purchased, did not cost the city anything?
No, we purchased these helicopters through asset forfeiture funds. Basically meaning that the drug dealers that we gain the assets from, they're the ones that basically supply and finance our helicopter, which is kind of nice. So no city funds were used for this helicopter.
And how many do you have?
We have 2 of them.
Okay. It's a beautiful looking aircraft.
Oh yeah.
So you're in charge, and you protect us night and day.
We try to do our best. One of the biggest, what I'd like to get out to, is one of our biggest complaints is the noise. And I just want to let everybody know that when we're finished with a call, we try to get out of that area as quickly as we can. And we're never really hovering in front of or on top of a house unless we need to, unless there's a tactical reason to be there. So just let them, let the public know. We'd like them to know that when we're out there, we're actually doing a police function. And when we're done with that function, we get out of there as quickly as we can.
Well, many times I hear you going over my house. I don't care what time of day or night it is. You're welcome to go over my house because I know I'm being protected.
Yes, you are. And we're also vital to the port. We can patrol the port in a matter of minutes, where it takes the boat or ground units hours to do. So we do a lot of Homeland Defense stuff with the helicopter also.
We just got a couple minutes, and I want to go in and look at some of your new SWAT equipment. It looks like something out of a Schwarzenegger film.
Yes, it is, and we'll go in there and talk to Lieutenant Wayne Collins about that.
All right.
He'll brief you on it.
Now, Sergeant, tell me about these vehicles.
Well, unfortunately, none of the SWAT members are here right now, so I can just basically tell you the basics of the vehicles. We secured these vehicles through Homeland Defense grants, who totally paid for these new armored vehicles. And basically, the vehicles are designed to be able to get the SWAT officers into a location where they can be covered from hostile fire. They can also rescue police officers down, citizens down with this, if they're taking hostile fire from, let's say, a sniper or a Hollywood bank robbery event type thing. And these vehicles are totally armored all the way around. Engine compartments are armored. The tires are tubeless. They can't be shot out. So they're they're structured very well.
I hate to use the term, but these are awesome-looking pieces of equipment.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're very sophisticated. They're state-of-the-art for our SWAT team, and they're going to be able to better secure the city during a time of unfortunate event. Say we have one. So
what's the difference between the two?
Basically, one is just a bigger vehicle. It fits more people in it, and the smaller one is designed more of a rescue to get through some of the alleys in Long Beach. The bigger one can't even fit through because it's so big. But the basic difference is size, mass, and I believe they still have the same armor plating. Each of them has. Just one has, you can fit more people in.
And with the armor plating, I assume that means a bullet couldn't penetrate it?
No, I believe they're capable of everything up to a 50 caliber, I believe. Everything up to 50 caliber they can take.
Have you used these at all yet?
Our SWAT team uses them all the time on every SWAT call-out. They roll to every SWAT call-out we have because the facts aren't determined until they get out there. So they never know what kind of equipment they'll need. So every time a SWAT team gets called out, these vehicles get called out also.
I want to thank you for telling me about your helicopter, about your SWAT tactical vehicles, and thanks for protecting us.
Nice to see you, Harvey.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
And that's it for Long Beach Treasures. Be sure and join us again next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Once again, this time we're going to view another modern home here in Long Beach, and I think that you're going to find that this is truly spectacular. So if you'll come with me, we'll go check it out. Hi, Michael.
Hello. Hi, Harvey. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank
Good.
you for letting us come and check out another house.
Sure, come on in.
Now, this is a modern style. Is there any particular type of architecture in the modern vein that this would be classified as?
Well, people call it mid-century modern. It's probably the most popular way to say it. It was built in 1952 by an architect named George Montier, who did work here in Long Beach. There's a couple other homes around this area and a large one in Belmont Shore. Well, Naples, I think, that we've seen.
And what's the square footage here?
The square footage is 3321.
Oh, that's large.
4-bedroom, 4-bath. It's a U shape around a big courtyard in the back.
You know, just from this vantage point here, just looking towards the dining room, this is just absolutely spectacular.
Thank you, thank you. I think the most interesting thing about this house is that George Monteith designed this very casual, informal living dining situation, which now we call a great room. And it's kind of come full circle because it sort of went out of style for a couple of decades, and now it's come back again.
The ceilings are almost like a Cliff May home, aren't they?
Yes, it was typical in those days to do open beam ceilings. And this one has the clear story windows that run through both the living room, dining room, and then also on the other side of that paneled wall there into the breakfast area.
This is beautiful flooring. What is it?
It's an aniline dyed maple. It's a sort of a taupe-colored dye on the maple. And the walls are original raffia wall covering from the period, which was in very good condition. I was able to save.
This is from the original, when the house was originally built?
I believe so.
Wow. Quite an extensive fireplace, too.
Yes, the house has an extensive use of, excuse me, Bouquet Canyon stone, both on the outside and the inside. Both fireplaces and hearths are out of the Bouquet Canyon, and then all of the planter areas in the backyard and around the house are also the same stone. The house was extensively remodeled in 1967, and I'm not sure if it was from the original family. The original owner was the Dodge dealer owner, the man who owned the Dodge dealership in Long Beach. I can't remember his name at the time.
It'll come to me. I know who you mean.
He apparently built the same exact house in Palm Springs, which I have not seen, but it's supposed to be the same exact floor plan.
The furniture is very, very modern. Is this a particular designer?
No, there's a mixture of period 50s pieces and also some brand new pieces, mostly Italian.
Would it be Glenn Thomas Dodge?
That's it. Glenn E. Thomas Dodge.
Told you I'd think of it along the way.
This is Glenn E. Thomas's house.
That is an unusual lamp, too.
A friend of mine did a whole collection of lamps like this some years back. It's about probably 10 years now. It's all wood, sliced very thin, like a
It's
wood
really
veneer.
quite striking when it's lit up with the, I guess that's glass inlay.
No, it's wood. It's just very thin wood.
Oh,
the
really?
light's just shining through the wood.
Oh, those are knot holes.
Right, those are knot holes.
I'll be darned.
Looks like fire, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's
The other great thing about this room is the soffit lighting, both the recessed down lighting and then there's other soffit lighting above, and also the built-in bookcases and display cabinet to the right here, and all the storage. This house is more storage than any house you'll ever see. There's a built-in stereo in this side, and then on the other side, that whole wall is dining room storage and built-in speakers for the stereo.
And the wall, the wood is what?
I don't know what kind of wood it is. It's been recently refinished and we put an espresso stain on it, and I don't know the actual wood underneath. I'm not sure. But the greatest thing about the room and the whole house really are these great doors. There are two 12-foot sliders, so we can get 24 feet of glass and 12 feet by 8 feet high of open area when we open both doors.
So in the summertime, it's almost like living outside.
It is. It's amazing. The courtyard, the house wraps around all three sides of the courtyard, and the living room and den and master bedroom all have these huge doors that open out. So it's wonderful for entertaining because there's speakers throughout the house, and the party just goes right outside, and the courtyard just acts like another room.
What a beautiful courtyard.
Thank you. It's a little wet right now. We had a little bit of rain this morning, but you'll see on the left side is the koi pond, and on the right side is the fire pit. So what I like about it is just the elements out here. When the fire's going and the water falls on, it's quite nice on a summer night.
I think I'd spend half of my life out here.
It's very restful. The sound of the water is amazingly peaceful, and what I like about the yard, the landscaping, and actually throughout some of the interiors is a very subtle Asian feel. There's a lot of specimen Japanese plants in the yard, both in the front and the back.
Even the little lanterns hanging up.
They're little Japanese lanterns, exactly. There's sort of a implied Asian screen there behind the whole back wall of the garage and the maid's room over there with the star jasmine climbing on it. There's not much of it left that you can see except on the end.
So you really have low yard maintenance, basically.
I don't have any lawn in the back. I have quite, the lot's about a quarter acre, so I have quite a lot of lawn in the front and the side because it's on a corner. But in the back, I don't have any lawn. I just have these planters, which I like a lot. Sort of rock garden and
Now, did you design this courtyard?
the planter in the middle was here, and the planter along the back was here, and everything else I put in. I put in all the slate. You can see that two sides of the U are covered, which is also nice because even when it does rain, you can still come outside and enjoy the yard. And then I have a sort of Japanese raking garden out there behind the trees. This is a Japanese black pine, Japanese maple behind it, which if you had been here just a few months ago would be solid red. Oh. It's quite beautiful.
While we're here, why not go in this door and circle around?
Okay, that's fine.
Do you have koi in here?
I do. I think they're shy.
Oh.
They're not showing themselves right now.
They're not ready for their close-up?
No.
Oh, wow.
the,
This is a large bedroom, isn't
This is
it?
the master bedroom. And like the living room, it has the open beam ceiling and the soffit lighting around, which I really like. At night, it's quite beautiful. It's a soft glow.
Now, are those closet doors with, is that glass?
Yes, I put the glass in. They were just solid, just flush doors before. The nice thing about the house is that not only do we have the wall of storage, but there's built-in cabinets inside.
Oh.
With TV cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
Quite convenient.
And they're all out of the way.
Yes.
This is really quite nice in here.
Thank you. Again, the furniture, some of it's period and some of it's new. And this way is the master bathroom.
Oh, wow, this is nice. I love the glass shower.
Thank you. I redid everything in this bath except for the cabinets.
Is this tile?
It is. It's handmade tile, and I did the whole shower and tub surround in that. I got rid of the curb on the shower, so the floor just runs straight through from the bathroom into the shower, which makes cleaning really easy, and it looks good. I like it a lot. The wallpaper was here. I'm actually not big on wallpaper, but this house had a lot of wallpaper in it, and it was quite well done, so some of it I left. You'll see some more in the den, but I left it in the living room, the den, and the master bedroom. This is the dressing room, which is probably the best thing about this master suite is the amount of storage in this
dressing room.
in this
Wow.
dressing room.
It's another room.
Yes, it is.
Lord,
So-
I can see why you said there's more storage space in this house than any house you're ever going to find.
It's great. Most of it's empty right now because I can't fill it up, but it's got built-in shoe storage and all kinds of double poles and built-in drawers.
And then you have another little garden.
And I put in these French doors to make a little meditation garden out here. I was in love with this huge 60-foot podocarpus tree that's sort of sandwiched in here between the houses, and this yard wasn't really used for anything, so I thought it was a great opportunity to come out from the master suite and have a private little meditation garden out here.
This is neat.
Just ferns and bamboo.
Well, you've got everything covered. I can't get over the size of this dressing room. It's as big as my house. Well, not quite. Which way are we going?
If you come this way,
Oh, I'm already lost.
the hall has two full linen closets, one for that bedroom and one for the guest bedroom. And then the guest bath is actually a mirror image of the master bath we just came from.
Oh.
Quite a different look. I wanted this one to be cooler and that one to be warmer, so it has a different feeling to it, but basically all the same elements. The floor was original, and it's quite rare Franciscan tile. And I kept that, and everything else is new.
When you say Franciscan tile, is that made by the Franciscan monks?
No, there was up in Atwater Village in Los Angeles, there was a large ceramic place. They used to make pottery mainly. That's
Oh.
why they didn't make too much floor tile. It was mostly vases and pots for the yard. And this is the guest bedroom.
You know, Mike, I
Also
think
quite
if a
large.
guest came, they wouldn't want to leave.
It's also quite large, and it has another wall of closets down here, which have actually two built-in closets, one on either end,
Oh.
which is great. You don't find this in new houses anymore.
Oh, the glass doesn't go all the way through, does it?
No, it doesn't. We didn't want to actually see what was inside the closet, so it's back-painted glass.
Oh, I like that. I think it's attractive.
Thank you.
I notice you have your beds all pulled out from the wall. Is that by design?
Yes, I kind of have a thing about sleeping under windows. I don't like to be right under the glass, so, and I like to be able to walk up to the windows and look out. And luckily, the rooms were big enough where I could do that.
This seems almost as large as the master bedroom, is it?
Almost.
Oh,
Smaller.
what a nice, oh,
This is the den, which I really enjoy at night. It's dark and cozy and has cork wall covering all around.
I was going to say, that looks like cork.
It's real cork.
The fireplace?
Fireplace has it's sort of a double fireplace in the corner, and again has the Bouquet Canyon stone. And there's
You can have a fire on each side?
yes, I can.
Huh.
And then it has this great built-in entertainment center, which comes in very handy.
Well, this is a nice room. I like this.
Thanks.
And with the doors open, you hear the water element. It would just be relaxing.
You know, the great thing about where the koi pond is and the waterfall is you can hear the water from just about any room around the house. It's very relaxing at night, especially when you're going to bed or waking up in the morning to hear it. And then we just go through this door and we're back in the entry hall.
Let's go check the kitchen out. I got to see everything.
Okay.
Now, how long have you lived here?
I've lived here about 3.5 years. Now, this is the kind of an unusual room. It isn't that big in square footage, but it's really tall and has this great clear story.
Yeah, there's
So-
neat pot lights up there, or track lights, whatever they're called.
Yes, cable lighting. So this room has this whole great built-in counter, lunch counter, breakfast counter, whatever, and I actually use it as a desk, and I work from home, so I can just look out on the yard and hear the water all day long when I'm working, which is quite nice. And I put in the wine refrigerator, and this is the rest of the kitchen.
Oh, this is a nice sized kitchen.
It's very workable, good work triangle. I built in the refrigerator, and all the countertops are Caesar stone, and has the same maple floors throughout. Put in the under cabinet lighting. Otherwise, the cabinets are original. I just had them refinished.
What stain did you call this?
Espresso was the name of the color.
I like that color.
Sometimes when the sun hits it, it has a little bit of a red tinge to it, but it's pretty dark like coffee. And again, look at all this great storage for it's great for me working here because I have all my office supplies in here. And then this is the laundry room, which has even more.
I can't get over the cupboards. This house has, I bet, have you ever counted them?
No. Well, I guess I counted them when I put all the hinges and knobs on them, but I've forgotten.
Lord, I
what
can't
the count
believe
is.
all the...
And it's nice in here because when you're working, you can look out to the neighborhood. There's lots of big trees, and this is a private courtyard for the guest suite across the breezeway here. This is the breezeway entrance to the other street.
Oh. Is this a quiet neighborhood?
It's very quiet. It's quiet, and I like all the big trees. It's like living in a park sometimes.
You have a lot of modern sculptures and paintings and
I've been
Wall hangings.
collecting art for a couple of decades now. So again, this is looking back through the breezeway on that side. What I love about the open floor plan is that it's very flexible. You do have to come outside to get into the other half of the house, but it's all covered. And with the great California weather, there are only a few weeks in the year when it's really cold, but usually it's really comfortable to come out the back door across the breezeway here, and you have a guest suite on one side, and then this door leads to the maid's suite in the garage.
Huh.
So if you'd like to come in. This could be a guest suite, or I think the original owner used it as a home office. And you'll see that it has this sort of formal entry here to it, and then the room has this whole built-in bookcase with 2 desks and typing areas, and I think this is where his home office was.
And then you have a private little patio.
And it has
as
the
you said.
private courtyard, which would be great for, if you did have it as a home office, for clients to come in from the street that way and not have to come through the rest of the house. So it's a great flexible area for teenagers to live out here, or an in-law, or an office, or even guests. And then it has a full bath here, and is separated and has some privacy from the rest of the yard with this great brise soleil, this is called.
And
then
down here, we
this-
keep going and going?
Yes. This is another little hall that comes down to a maid's room and bath.
Oh, you have a maid?
I don't have a maid. We just use it as an extra room right now. It's small but comfortable, and then a small bathroom that has an interesting corner shower, which is original, and it's all metal.
Oh, that's an interesting light above the medicine cabinet, too.
Yeah, just little halogen spots. But this has the ribbed glass and the metal cabinet, which I think is very interesting. I hadn't seen one before. And the
It's a little
terrazzo flat.
It's a lot smaller than your shower and your master bath.
Well, it is the maid's room.
Oh, he doesn't deserve the extras. As we came down, I noticed, what's this handle?
This is just part of the old-fashioned electrical box. So it still works, and we haven't had to change it.
Huh.
We've added new panels since, so it has had upgraded electrical, but this is the original.
And that, I assume, leads to the garage?
That does lead to a double garage, and there's another little yard on the side of it for potting and trash and the dog. Separate from the backyard here.
This sounds, just the water makes this so relaxing out here.
It is very relaxing. It's great in the summer to have barbecues.
It must be fun just to sit around the fire pit and have a glass of wine and talk.
It's very nice.
Well, I want to thank you for letting us come and see your house. I think it's fantastic. Getting to, I guess, appreciate a little more the side of modern architecture. I'd never paid much attention to it before, and since I've been doing some shows on modern architecture, I'm finding it to be much more attractive.
Well, there's a great emphasis on indoor-outdoor living, and you don't find that anymore in the new houses either, so it's kind of a special way to live.
Is modern architecture still popular?
Yes, it's a huge resurgence, and finding these houses and restoring them is a big pastime for a large segment of people now, so it's great because we're saving them all.
What would be the most spectacular modern architecture in Long Beach, by your judgment?
By my judgment? Oh, that's difficult. Residential or commercial?
Probably residential.
Probably, I do like all the George Monteith work. There's another house by George Monteith on Naples Island that's a similar floor plan to this. It's a U-shape, but it's 7,000 square feet and 2 stories with a pool in the middle. And it's right on the canal and quite lovely. You might want to visit that house sometime and you'll see more of his work. And the other house that I like is the Hugh Davies house on Myrtle Avenue, which is totally different from this, quite a bit older, but it's nice to see how the modern architecture, and especially in Bixby Knolls, changed from the 30s to the 50s and 60s. But this whole area is very rich in Killingsworth. There's some beautiful Killingsworth houses around here.
Well, again, thanks.
You're welcome.
For letting me come and check out your house because it's beautiful.
Thank you. Come back anytime.
Will do. I would like to take a couple of minutes now to talk to you about the Long Beach Historical Society. The Historical Society recently moved from the historic Breakers building into the 12th floor of the historic Security Pacific building at 110 Pine Avenue. The move was unexpected and costly, and now we're asking for your support to help us to continue to carry out the programs of the Historical Society. The Long Beach Historical Society has a membership of about 500. Now that's less than 1% of the total population of our city. A city the size of Long Beach, the 5th largest in the state, the 32nd largest in the nation, certainly can do better than that. So won't you please help us? A city the size of Long Beach cannot be without a historical society or a historical museum. How can you help? Simple. Become a member of the Long Beach Historical Society now. Membership starts as low as $40. Our photographs, publications, and gift memberships make ideal and great inexpensive gifts. So won't you please join us and help us to continue to document and preserve the history of Long Beach by becoming a member of the Long Beach Historical Society now. Contact the Long Beach Historical Society at area code 562-495-12110 for membership information, or email the Society at www.historicalsocietylb.org, or email me at lbtreasures.aol.com, and I'll make sure you get the information. And thanks for caring. And thanks for watching. That's our show for this time. Be sure and join us again next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures.
Everybody knows my mailbox is a...
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we found the Unity Church, a historic landmark dedicated by the city in 1998 here at 935 East Broadway. It's sort of something that you would miss as you drive by if you didn't know it was here, so we want to go in and look at this historical landmark and make you aware of it, and you might want to stop by and check it out. So come with me and let's go in and meet the pastor. And here we are, and this must be the Reverend Clarice Duke. Thank you for letting us stop by and check out your little church here.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Tell me, what's a Unity Church?
Well, good question. Unity Church, actually, it was founded by two New Thought metaphysical thinkers, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore. And the Unity movement was founded in 1889.
Is this a worldwide movement or just local?
No, it is a worldwide movement, but it's not as huge as maybe some other denominations or other movements.
And their basic principle is?
Well, it started out as like thinking about the basic principle of cause and effect. And they really focused on affirmative thinking. And the focus was on our thinking produces our reality. And so if our thinking produces our reality, then we better, well, no, that's not a good word. It's a good idea to think the truth, to think the truth of the goodness of who we are, to think the truth of the goodness and the beauty of the universe and the world, and to think the truth that God is within every human being, therefore God is a good, and therefore every human being is good.
Now, I noticed on the plaque out front, the founders of the Unity Church in Long Beach was a husband and wife who were pastors.
Yes, husband and wife team, and yes, this local unity movement actually began in 1923 by these two reverends, husband and wife team. And at first they met in different homes, and finally they just began to grow and grow. Finally they began to think about, we need to find a permanent place for us.
I guess my question was going to be that this was in the 1920s, a woman pastor, and you're the pastor here now. Would it have been unusual to have a female pastor back then? I would think women wouldn't have been completely liberated.
Exactly. But the New Thought, metaphysical thinking, believes strongly in the divinity of each person. Therefore, guess what? Women can have the divine nature also.
Well, good for them.
And not just the men. So therefore, they affirm the goodness of every human being. So women have been a part of this movement from its inception. The founders were from a team, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, and actually it was a delight to come to this church, and I'm like the fourth or fifth female pastor.
Now, I understand they had a grassroots movement to raise money to build this church?
Yes.
And what was the movement?
Well, one of the fundraisers was to buy this land and then eventually to build this building, was to make dolls and sell them. And over here are some of our dolls that are left from this fundraiser. And they made these dolls, they're handmade dolls, and they wanted to sell 1,001 to make $1,000. So therefore they would sell them for $1. And they sold them from a cart from the corner of Ocean and Pacific. And they were very successful at selling these dolls, and that was one of the fundraisers. Another one of the amazing movement to get this building built is a college student.
Let's walk on in while we're talking.
A college student donated $10. This is in, the early 30s, 1930s, $10. A college student donated $10 to build this building, and that was really a lot of money for a college student to give, and it's in our records. And that was kind of the seed money to start building this building.
And this was built in 1941?
Yes. Yes, and it was, the doors were opened in 1941, February 23rd, 1941. And Louise actually was still one of the spiritual leaders, and now her daughter also is a licensed minister, and she's also working at this time as one of the spiritual leaders.
I notice your windows are painted. Is there a reason why?
Well, yeah, we think probably because of the financial realities in the 20s and the 30s. We did notice that this main window and the back windows in the balcony, are some of the glass is color glass, green color glass, gold color glass, blue color glass, and then they painted on top of it to get the shadows and so forth. But these windows on the side do not have the colored glass, but strictly are painted. And we have tried to find out who the artists were, but we haven't been able to find out that.
I was talking to an art historian the other day, and she was saying that in the days of old, they used to paint the windows before they had colored glass. So you're right in style.
I guess so.
And the altar is that's painted?
Yes, the background, the wall is all painted, and this around here is all painted.
Now, is that the choir loft behind the...
Yes, it was. It hasn't been used for a while.
So
But
the
yes.
balcony then is for overflow...
People.
Good.
This building seats about 320 people.
And you have all kinds of services here?
Well, yes. Well, we have one service on Sunday morning, and then we have a couple of education classes in the morning before the service. And during the week, we open it up to people to come in and AA meetings and NA meetings, and we have Course in Miracles on a Wednesday night here, led by one of our parishioners. And over here, you notice that we have a variety of symbols of religions, and because Unity Church does not believe that we have to have a certain creed to believe in, or we have a certain person to believe in, but actually to believe in the goodness of ourselves and the creativity of ourselves, so people can have different faiths and different understandings.
So you're open-minded and accepting of all?
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's great. This is really quite a unique little church. People probably wouldn't even see it as they're whizzing down Broadway. And
Exactly, and we're trying to work on that. We're working on that to think about all the possibilities to get some people as they whiz by to notice that, oh, there's a place here of worship. And we also need to get out the good news about what unity is all about. And because we don't believe in a creed or we have to believe in a certain person, but we believe in the goodness of every human being, and that we create our life by the way we think.
how long have you been a pastor here?
Oh, a little over a year, I think.
And do you know how many pastors there have been here since 1941 when the church opened? Putting you on the spot, huh?
Yeah. I think I've read it somewhere, and I looked yesterday to find out, but I don't know that.
Now, do you have a choir here or anything?
No, we have a fabulous organist. We have a fabulous soloist that is with us every week. And our services are actually kind of very meditative. We have lots of time where we sit silently, and we have a lot of time to go inward, because we really feel that that's where God is, inward, and to listen to the truth of who we are, and to listen to God's Spirit within us.
Could we walk downstairs and see what's
Yes.
Down there?
Yes.
All right. All right, now, this is the basement of the church?
Yes, it is. We
Oh, wow, this is surprisingly large, isn't it?
yes, and we have lots of wonderful events take place down here, and we have kind of a stage area and a nice kitchen. And what is wonderful about this, we have a large book library here, metaphysical library, and we wish more people would come and utilize and borrow these books that we have down here.
Now, this is where different groups have meetings?
Yes, yes, and we have our education classes down here, and we have celebrations down here. The only problem that we're having now, we've trying to work on this, it's not handicapped accessible down here.
Oh.
And our bathrooms are not handicapped accessible, and they're on this next level here. That's one of our issues about, of course, old historical buildings. They didn't have that in mind when they were built.
Well, I noticed you had a ramp at the side of the church for handicapped
Yes,
accessibility.
and to get up there. So.
Well, I'm surprised how large it is down here, because the church, when you look at it from the street, seems to be very, very small, but down here it seems quite spacious.
Yes, yes. And we have a meditation class on Sunday afternoon, and I've been to it a couple of times, led by our organist, And we're all, in our little cushion on the floor, and it's just a nice large space to meditate.
Well, I want to thank you for letting us see your church, and if anybody wants to find a place to worship, 953 Broadway.
Yes.
And tell them Long Beach Treasures sent you down, because it's a historical building and they have a really great pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clarice, for letting us come in. Thank you so much. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more Long Beach Treasures.
Do you have a senior loved one in your family that needs long-term care at home or a nursing home? Are you worried that you'll have to sell the house because the care is so costly? The California Elder Law Center helps your loved one get the quality care they deserve and not go broke doing it. Call toll-free 1-888-500-6700. The California Elder Law Center helps families develop care plans for staying at home and getting the help they need. The California Elder Law Center is prepared to help you. Call now, 1-888-500-6700.
Why should your business check out Charter Business? Ability. The affordability of our high-speed business class networking solutions. The scalability to quickly and simply adjust those solutions to your changing needs. The reliability of our fiber-based Cisco-powered network. And local market accountability you just don't get from the phone company. Check out Charter Business Ability today at 888-975-6100 or visit charter-business.com.
I'm Harvey Keller, host of Long Beach Treasures. Be sure and join us every week as we tour historic homes, buildings, neighborhoods, meet interesting people, and see interesting things. Catch our show every Tuesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. on Channel 3 and take a walk through history as we uncover more Long Beach treasure. See you then.
Smooth Sports Grill.
Wherever you're sitting inside, you can see at least 5 screens. So whatever your interest is, wherever you're sitting, you're going to be seeing what you want.
Like the TV monitors, the food is great. I like the menu.
It is the place on Pine Avenue. It is, in fact, it is my home away from home.
You got everything from surfing to, baseball and even, international soccer.
Upscale. Very, very nice.
Very sexy. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, baby.
Welcome back to Long Beach Treasures. Now we're going to go through a newly remodeled Victorian home here in Alamitos Beach. They've done a really spectacular job. It almost looked like new construction. So if you'll come with me, we'll go knock on the front door and we'll see what it looks like from the inside out. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello, Harvey. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for letting me come. And,
welcome.
I've been wanting to see the inside of your house for a long time because I know you've been working on this, what, a year?
Yeah, it's been a year that we started last May. We pretty much finished this current May, so.
And would you consider this a Victorian?
Yes, it is considered a Victorian.
Transitional period?
I'm not sure which period it is. I've been told it's Queen Anne style, but I don't know how traditional it is.
What year was it born?
19...
Built.
It was built in 1907.
1907?
Yeah.
Okay, Victoria died in 1901, so this would have been during the Edwardian era. Mm-hmm. So it would probably be considered a transitional Queen Anne. Mm-hmm. You've done a beautiful job.
Well,
What's the square footage?
It's just over 1,000 square feet.
Was that all?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it looks much larger from the outside.
Yeah, so it's not too big.
Now tell me what all you've done.
Well, in here, when we bought the house, back during the war, the houses were split into 2. So ours was one of them, and the original staircase was not in. So when we bought the house, we had I guess it was like a loft-style staircase. We had that removed, so we had the staircase completely rebuilt. In here, we refinished the wood, repainted it.
Is this new crown molding, or is that original?
The crown molding, no, is brand new. It's brand new. We had that added as well. So added the recessed lighting.
Doesn't it take a long time to light all those candles?
Yeah. As you can tell, we don't have any candles in there, though, because I don't want it to turn the ceiling black. So, and then in the kitchen was complete.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, the kitchen we completely had gutted and remodeled. We added Dutch door in here, all new cabinetry, new window, farmhouse sink. You know.
And lots of pot lights.
Yes. Yeah, we decided, you know what, because there wasn't adequate lighting when we bought the house, case in point in the living room, with exceptions of lamps, so we decided to add all the recessed lighting in. So.
This is nice. I like.
Thank you
I like
very
the
much.
beadboard very much.
Thank you. And what was really surprising in the kitchen is these are the original hardwood floors.
Oh, wow.
There was at least 7 or 8 layers of linoleum and then a top layer of tile when we bought the house. And when they removed everything, it was all under there in perfect condition. So we just had it refinished.
It is in great condition
Yeah.
for being that old.
Mm-hmm.
The tile must be new.
Yeah, all this is brand new. All brand new. Had this all custom done.
And that's unusual glass in your doors there.
Yes, with Kitchen Guy we wanted the glass cabinets, and I just wanted something that looked kind of authentic. If you know, obviously our windows are very, they're not perfect,
Right.
you know, so I wanted to keep it as original as possible. So, added the Dutch door.
Hi,
Here.
guys. And this is your laundry room?
Yes, this is our laundry room. So we added this cabinetry in here. These cabinets were here. We just had them refinished.
Nice bathroom.
Back here we had the bathtub refinished. Sent that out, refinished that, and also sent out the corner sink and had that refinished. And
Now, these are both original to the house?
I don't think so, because if I'm not mistaken, this used to be the kitchen area of the house. So at one point in time, this was, I mean, obviously it must have been a long time ago, but this was all turned into a bathroom and the washroom, because the guys 2 houses over, theirs is still their kitchen area, so it's like a galley kitchen. And
Can we take a quick run upstairs? And
yes, we definitely can.
Now, you're in Alamitos Beach.
Yes.
And Alamitos Beach is not a historical designated neighborhood.
Mhm.
So did you have to have a certificate of appropriateness from the Cultural Heritage Commission to do any of the work that you did here in the house?
No, not that I'm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we
Well,
did
no,
not. Yeah.
since you're not, since Alamitos Beach is not a historical neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
why you wouldn't have to. But if you lived, say, in Bluff Park, then
Oh,
you
you'd
would
have to get all
have to.
the- yeah. No, we did not. So, and then here, once again, when the house was split into 2, there used to be a doorway here. And so we had that replaced and had a window put in there.
Now, when you replaced the door, you had this window made?
Yes, this is all custom made. So the guy did a great job. The front windows are original, so we had him mirror the diamond pattern on these windows as well.
Have you washed them yet?
No, have not.
I don't think I would envy you doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are we in now?
Now up here, this house is considered a 3-bedroom. This is what, you know, I guess they would consider the 3rd bedroom. When we bought this house, there used to be a Murphy bed in here. We took that out. This is what we use as our TV, our sitting area. So this is where we lounge around. And over here is our office, and we also have this as an extra bedroom in case, you know, somebody comes over and crashes. So
Seems like you have a lot of little niches for storage and
yeah, it's
putting
pretty.
things.
It's pretty interesting. What we found out is, I guess our ceiling over our staircase was dropped. So what it did is it gave us all this little extra space that we use for our bookshelving and supplies and stuff for work.
Do you have a basement here?
No, we do not.
And then this is your second bath?
Yes, and we had that all the tile work refinished in there as well, and had the beadboard added around.
I noticed the coloring you chose is mostly earth tones.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
No, it's just, you know, I work with color a lot at work, so I just am very familiar with, I love color. I don't, you know, enjoy anything simple. So I just wanted a splash of color, but without it being too extravagant. When we bought the house, the first remodel we did, which was more cosmetic, We had, like in here, we had a persimmon color. In here was a mustard. So every room was literally a different color, but this time with this remodel, I decided to keep it a little bit more.
And let's check out the master bedroom.
Mm-hmm. So in here, you know, once again, with them dropping the ceiling, we have all this little extra space. It gives us all, we have this little closet in here.
I like these little cubby holes and little doors and
It was
stuff.
definitely a selling point when we bought the house. I mean, we just loved how all the detail work and everything. And then over here is our walk-in closet.
Now, is this your bed and this is for the dogs?
Yes, pretty much. Yes, pretty much. So, and then these windows also, we had them custom made because at one point in time those were taken out and aluminum windows were in there. So he did a great job refinishing
What
those.
made you decide to buy an Alamedas Beach?
I've lived in Long Beach for about 8 years now, and it's just a neighborhood that, you know, I've always seen and, you know, obviously frequented, you know, at the restaurants or bars. And when this house came up for sale, I just fell in love with it. So
It's a great area because I
Mhm.
also live in Alamedas Beach,
Mhm.
and we have a lot of historic buildings.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about having this designated?
You know what, I would love to. I mean, you know, I haven't looked into how to go about that yet, but once I find out, I would definitely love to do that.
Just call the Long Beach Historic Preservation Officer and
Mhm.
have them walk you through the process.
Great.
So I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Jonathan, thanks for taking us through your house.
No problem. Welcome.
appreciate
and,
it.
Thank you for having, for stopping by.
I love to go through homes. I like to see what people do because every house is so different, and
Yeah.
then I go home and I do what I have new things to do. So thanks again.
All right. Thank you very much.
I would like to take a couple of minutes now to talk to you about the Long Beach Historical Society. The Historical Society recently moved from the historic Breakers building into the 12th floor of the historic Security Pacific building at 110 Pine Avenue. The move was unexpected and costly, and now we're asking for your support to help us to continue to carry out the programs of the Historical Society. The Long Beach Historical Society has a membership of about 500. Now that's less than 1% of the total population of our city. A city the size of Long Beach, the 5th largest in the state, the 32nd largest in the nation, certainly can do better than that. So won't you please help us? A city the size of Long Beach cannot be without a historical society or a historical museum. How can you help? Simple. Become a member of the Long Beach Historical Society now. Membership starts as low as $40. Our photographs, publications, and gift memberships make ideal and great inexpensive gifts. So won't you please join us and help us to continue to document and preserve the history of Long Beach by becoming a member of the Long Beach Historical Society now. Contact the Long Beach Historical Society at area code 562-495-12110 for membership information, or email the Society at www.historicalsocietylb.org, or email me at lbtreasures.aol.com, and I'll make sure you get the information. And thanks for caring, and thanks for watching. That's our show for this time. Be sure and join us again next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures. welcome to another edition of Long Beach Treasures. I'm your host, Harvey Keller. Today we're going to go through the newly renovated police department, and Officer Shermer is going to take us through and tell us all about your new headquarters. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Well, let's go in and get started.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's go. Wow, this is different.
Yes, it's quite a bit different. We have a much larger lobby, more windows for the public to ask questions and do all their police business when they come into the lobby. As you can see, it's much more comfortable. The seating arrangements, brighter.
It's not as intimidating.
It's not. In fact, that's something that the chief wanted to make sure, is that we had something that was open, less intimidating, and something easier for the public to use.
I'm impressed so far. Where are we going next?
We're going to go up to where some of the detectives are doing their jobs.
All right. You know, this little lobby almost looks like a hospital lobby.
Yes, this one's fairly plain, but this is the area where we also have the women's jail housed here on the 4th floor. On the 6th floor, we have the men's jail, and that whole floor is a jail. Just a portion of this floor is a jail. And
Do you have any idea how many women you normally have in jail?
I don't know how many women we normally have in jail. I can get that number for you.
It's not necessary. I was just curious.
Yeah. And then we'll move into here where some of our detectives are housed. Particularly, we have our domestic violence, child abuse, and our sex crimes detail.
Oh, I was waiting for you to use a card or something for entry.
That's for definitely the areas where the public has no availability to go into. We have the card readers.
Now, all the asbestos in the whole building has been removed?
Yes, in the entire building, and that's what's taken some of the time of the retrofit, along with the seismic retrofitting of the building.
And the area we're in right now is?
This is domestic violence.
Oh, okay. Where did the money come from for doing the renovations?
Both through bonds as well as a federal grant.
Okay. So it really wasn't out of city funds?
No, it wasn't.
Which way are we going?
We'll just wrap around.
Wrap around this way? Got enough files up here.
Yeah, quite a few, and detectives have quite a bit of paperwork that they have to work on. And as you can see, it essentially looks more like an office building in this area, and that's essentially what detectives do, is they're investigating crimes and running through paperwork, as well as interviewing the suspects and victims of crimes.
This is just really a neat, clean area now.
It is much cleaner and neater than the prior building, or the building prior to its renovation. It's, again, a much nicer environment for not only our employees, but as well as the people that come in here and visit us.
And we're going someplace.
Yeah, we're going to go to the stairs, and we'll just we'll go down the stairs to the 3rd floor. We can actually get on the elevator and come out if you wanted to do that.
Now where are we headed?
We're headed down to our 3rd floor, where the majority of our administration is housed. All our chiefs are on this floor, as well as the actual chief of police.
And we're going...
Yeah, we'll go down this hallway and walk down here. Again, as you brought up, it's very clean. We have energy-efficient lighting. You had mentioned that the outside as well looks quite a bit different. We also have energy-efficient panes of glass that are on the outside as well. So in addition to just being aesthetically pleasing, it's also much more energy efficient.
This carpet's comfortable to walk on.
It is much better than the torn up carpet and some of the hard flooring that was underneath that.
As I go by, I notice all these familiar names on the doors.
Yes, all our administration is housed on here, and they're names that are quite a bit known throughout the community.
Well, it just keeps going.
Yes. We do have some detectives housed on this floor. As you can see here, we have our identity theft, forgery, fraud, computer crimes, and we have some computer labs here as well. we can go in there and take a look.
All right. This just looks like an office building now.
It does. Again, it's a much nicer environment for our employees to be working in, as well as the victims that have to come in here and discuss things with our detectives, et cetera, and anybody else that would be visiting the police department.
And it's so quiet.
It tends to be fairly quiet in here. People working, again, detectives also have to go out in the field, so oftentimes you'll find that detectives maybe aren't at their desks, but out investigating the crimes.
Conference room?
Yes, we have quite a few conference rooms throughout the department. Some of them very state-of-the-art. As you saw here, our lights came on when we came in, so they're motion detectors, again, hoping to save as much energy as we can. We don't keep the lights on when we're not using the rooms.
Now, as you look across at the courthouse, you can see the difference.
Yes, it's, again, quite a bit different. Our shell of the building looked like that prior to the retrofit and had those kind of slate blue panes as well as the older glass. And I think we're much nicer looking now than we were.
Now, you were out, what, a year?
We were out actually almost 2 years. From 2002 through 2004, we started moving some people back, personnel back at the end of 2004, and everybody's been completely transferred back into here.
How did you like it at the Edison building?
You know, there was, again, it's an older building, so there was quite a bit of space there, but it was a much older building and probably didn't work out as well. Again, we were away from the courthouse, we were away from the jails, so we had quite a bit of trips going back and forth. So it's much nicer to be housed here where we have the suspects that are in the jail here where we can interview them. We have the courthouse right across the street, or right across the parking lot, where our detectives can testify as well.
Do you still have the tunnel that goes underneath into the courthouse?
We do, yes.
Okay, and now where?
We can walk around and head towards the chief's office, and we'll take a look at the chief's office. We'll just wrap around here.
A lot of cubicles.
Yes. Again, we have quite a few detectives, so we need as many cubicles as possible for the detectives to work. They obviously all need a desk and all need computers to work on, and you saw the file cabinets, and those are all the things that we need to be working.
Even modern art on the walls.
Yeah, a little bit of art on the wall. This floor also houses our fiscal division and those details as well.
Did we just make a circle?
Yes, we did.
Oh, because I was going to say this looks familiar.
So we're back in the main area of this floor, in the main lobby, and then we'll walk back towards the chief's office here.
You ever get lost up here?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, everything's pretty much at right angles, so it helps to find your way around.
First police chief?
I believe he is one of the first police chiefs. He's a captain, actually.
And I think that was the first police woman on the force.
That was.
Well, this says Office of the Chief of Police. This must be it.
This is it. So come on in, and we'll see where the secretary is, and then we'll head into
big office.
Yeah, quite a bit.
I notice you have a lot of the old pictures from your museum, I believe, on the walls.
Yes, from our historical society, and it gives it a nicer look up here in the office.
Wow, it pays to be chief, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, he meets with quite a few people, everywhere from very high up in the political realm to just, you know, us police officers and other community members that come in here. But he has a very nice office, and he needs quite a bit of tools here to help him run the police department, from his computer to phones to his television that can have downlinks from the helicopter, so he can see something live action while it's occurring.
Now, as people come in, does he use the director's chair there to give directions?
I have never seen the chief use his director's chair to give directions. He's very approachable and has a very good open door policy, and he's more than happy to talk to anybody that works here or anybody in the community.
It's a beautiful office, spacious, well appointed.
It is very nice, and you can see a little bit about his personality as well and how organized and he is, and obviously clean and neat.
Too bad the view doesn't face the ocean, huh?
Well,
That's
I
only
suppose
drawback.
there could be a better view, but you know, it faces the community here, and actually on the other side he'd probably be facing the courthouse, so
that's true.
He probably has a little bit better view out these windows.
Well, I'm quite impressed with the building. It really looks so much different and so much nicer, and it has more of a, I don't know, a homey feel than the old building did.
Absolutely. It's just a much better environment for us to be, and it's a better working environment. So.
Well, I'm sure you're all happy to be back at home too, aren't you?
Absolutely. This is home, and you know, being in a temporary building just isn't the same. And this 400 West Public Safety Building is really home for the police department.
And where's your office?
My offices are actually off-site at a business building that's actually kitty corner across the street to this building, so we're not too far either.
And your main job is public?
I'm one of the public information officers for the department, so we handle all the media relations.
That ought to keep you busy.
Yes, it does.
All right, I think we're going to go down and check out the new Segways that you have.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, are the elevators are new too?
The elevators are all completely redone, which is a big improvement for us here in the building. Our old elevators oftentimes would stop between floors, wouldn't run at all. Oftentimes you'd have to just take the stairs because the elevators just weren't working.
Hey, good exercise.
Absolutely.
Keeps you in shape.
Yes.
All right. I understand that the police department got some new Segways.
Yes, they have, and you can see them riding right by here. We have a couple of our
here
officers.
They are. Yeah. Well, let me talk to them.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Now, do you fight over these?
No, actually we have enough to go around right now. Here in South Division we have 4 that are assigned actually to our division, and East Division has 2 that are assigned to them right now.
Now, are these going to take the place of the bicycles?
No, it's just a way to supplement some of our patrol strategies we have down here. Just add a little bit more to it, something a little different to help us out. Bicycles are really versatile also. They can go a couple places where the Segway can't, but the Segway is a real good way to kind of supplement your walking beats down here and also patrol certain areas where there's a lot of people, where congestion is a problem. They can kind of move around the people and the congestion down here, and we just thought we'd give them a try. It seems like a good deal for it.
Where are you going to use these mostly?
Probably around City Hall, Lincoln Park area, maybe Pine Avenue. We're looking at that right now. Convention Center, also around the aquarium, and possibly down by the Long Beach Arena on special events down there.
Are they fun?
Oh yeah, they're lots of fun. Lots of fun.
More fun than a bicycle?
Just new fun. It's
Is
new
it?
bicycle.
Yeah, bikes are still fun, but these are a lot of fun.
Do you get to take them home at night?
No.
No, we don't get to ride them home like motors, but what we have to do is plug them in so they get to charge overnight.
What's your policy on these?
Just be careful.
Is that it?
Wear a helmet, obey all the regular laws. They have the same type of laws regarding the Segway as you do for like a electric wheelchair or a Rascal, so you're permitted to ride them on the sidewalk down here.
I thought that these were excluded from the helmet law.
Well, they are, but we like to try to set a good example for the public by wearing helmets. And with Segway Company, during their training videos, they show all the individuals riding a helmet. We just think it's a good practice. Preventive medicine's always good.
What's been the public reaction when they see you coming on a Segway?
I think they like it.
Do they?
Yeah, I think they want to ride it.
I would think that it would be a curiosity factor, and it would give you more of an open dialogue with people just because of the equipment.
Yes. Yeah, we find it's a good public relations tool. I was riding on Pine Avenue one day, and we've had some people from out of town there from Australia, and they're just wondering, oh, you guys get to ride those? That's great, mate. Here, let me take your picture with you. So I had a couple guys from Australia want to take our picture. So it's interesting, you know. It really is. It's a good PR tool. It makes you really approachable to the public, and I think the benefits of it will show in the long run.
Now, will these be ridden during the daylight hours?
Yeah, daylight and night. They're also, as you can see, equipped with some lights and some night riding equipment. We're going to probably do a little modifications to them so we can bring them up for like we would for a police bike, you know.
Are you going to have an emblem or something so that it'll be identifiable as
yeah, what we eventually we'll have like we'd like it, like you see this gentleman has a black pack, a black pack on the front.
Barry, you want to come on over?
Come on over here, Barry. We'd like to get like a black pack like this, and then like you see our patches like this. We'd like to get the patch up in front, Long Beach Police Department, and then also police in front. And then we're going to put some new stickers on them too, like we do our bike. Say police on them, so you'll be able to identify these as actually a police vehicle.
And this is Barry Fulton, and you have the Segway
dealership. It's located down at the Pike at Rainbow Harbor. So so you don't have to be a police officer to enjoy a Segway. You can come down for a rental or a narrated guided tour or purchase a Segway.
When you have your guided tours, are those with someone or
it is
self-guided?
No, it's chaperoned with a guide. It's a historical content. It's been narrated by Janet Evans, the local gold medal swimmer, and it's downloaded to an iPod. So as you're out on the hour and 45-minute tour, you're actually listening to the historical content of how the Queen Mary got here and how the Rainbow Harbor was developed, and it goes down towards the Belmont Pier. So but a lot of historical content.
Okay, now these guys are pros already. They know what they're doing. Explain to me what a Segway is and how it operates.
Well, the first thing you need to know about a Segway is it will balance you, as you can tell. It's gyroscopic technology. It is self-balancing, and you really just have to believe in the machine. We train our people before they go out on a tour or a rental approximately 15 minutes, along with a safety video, and we make sure that they are safe to go out in pedestrian crowds, and they understand the Segway etiquette, as we call it. So as they're coming up on pedestrians, they're polite and courteous, and they slow down. And
what makes them move?
It's perpetual motion. As you lean backwards, you go backwards. As you lean forward, you go forward.
And how do you turn?
A little turning mechanism. It's the only device that can actually turn in its entire footprint, just like a human being. It's so intuitive. That's why the state legislature in 46 states and the city of Long Beach recognizes you as a pedestrian, so you're allowed on the sidewalks, bike paths, boardwalks.
Are these allowed on the street?
They are not street legal. You would have to be like a pedestrian in a crosswalk, and you know, they don't have directional signals or brake lights, and they're made to be a pedestrian vehicle.
Now, how fast do they go?
You can go up to 12.5 miles an hour. There's limited by 3 different keys: 6 miles an hour, 8.5 miles, or 12.5 miles.
What speed do you normally travel at?
Oh, 12.5 miles an hour, of course.
Yeah. Full speed ahead, huh?
Full speed. We like full speed.
They can track anybody down.
Yeah.
That's as fast as somebody can sprint.
So
generally.
You said you have 3 keys to turn this on?
Yes. As you can see, here's a black key. That's the starter key. So that's.
Oh, that's an odd-looking key.
Yeah, they're all like, it's just a magnetic key, and what it does.
I've never seen one.
Here it is. There's no twisting. You just touch the key actually to the keypad right here, and that's how you turn the vehicle on.
And how do you turn it off? By just getting off?
You get off and you push this button, and it shuts down all the electrical systems, and it just automatically stops. And then at that time, you can. There's a little kickstand for it, as you can see right here. You just kick the kickstand off to the side, and then you're all set, ready to walk away from it.
And these are compatible with pedestrians?
Oh, so far we haven't had any problems down here. It's exactly. As he stated earlier, you just got to watch, be careful, just go slow along the pedestrian traffic, don't zip down the street, you know, and just be a good neighbor as you're going down there. You don't want to mow people over with this thing, because it does weigh 83 pounds, along with your weight would be quite an impact, so you want to try to avoid that at all costs.
Does it have a horn so that when you get up behind somebody, you can
No, we do have a nice little bell, though.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to buy an ice cream? Nutty Buddy? Bomb Pop?
Is that what you carry in the bag?
No, not yet. No, we haven't done that yet. So.
Now, you said yours was the first concept store for Segway?
Yes, it is. The corporation Segway LLC out of Bedford, New Hampshire came out and helped design the store, and that's kind of set the bar for what all new dealerships will look like in the future.
Huh. I think this is interesting. I think it would be fun. I would think that you guys everybody would want to be on the squad that gets to ride the Segways.
Well, you know what? It is. We've had a lot of people fighting over the keys inside the station right now, and it did take some training. We had a selected individuals that are riding it, basically the bike personnel right at this time. We've trained some community policing officers in the South Division and also in East Division also that are been trained to ride Segways. And actually this afternoon I'm training one of the special events sergeants on it so they can use it for some special events down here.
These would be great on parades, wouldn't they?
Oh, parades, during the Grand Prix, we're looking at that, concerts, patrol parking lots and things like that. It's just a different way of helping to supplement like a walking beat. So people, if they have to walk all day, if they're doing a special event, it takes some of that load away from them. It allows them to, you know, get off their feet a little bit more so they're not walking and travel between point A and point B, you know, in a safe, quick manner.
And they're kept here at the station at night?
That is true, yes. We have a storage room in back. We just plug them in at night, let them charge, and then they're ready to go the next day.
Now, are these on the street every day, 24/7?
Not 24/7 right now. We use them right now. Yeah, I mean, we use them right now. We're slowly implementing them into our downtown area, like for our entertainment zone between the Pine Avenue and the Pike area. And probably this weekend will be the first time we actually put them out. We're still trying to put together our routes and everything that we're gonna, our patrol areas that we're gonna use these for, and the functions that we're gonna use them for. So you'll start seeing more of them around at night and during the day.
How are these on hills, like going down Pine Avenue on a steep hill?
Well, you know, they're not bad. Well, they're self-riding, so no matter what you do, if you go forward too fast, they automatically stand up straight. And it just like, yeah, you just lean back a little bit, and it slows you down. Yeah, that's how you stop. There's, as you know, there's no brakes on the Segway. All the way that you stop is just, if you're going forward, you just lean back and it stops that way. So you have to, exactly, you have to trust the balancing technology, and hopefully it works. So far it has worked. So we've been fortunate. We haven't had any, you know, we've had some little accidents, but that's rider error.
Well, you know, this is great. I'm glad you stopped by and let us see what the newest mode of transportation for the police department is, and I envy you.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's such a nice day out. It's a good day to be out on a Segway, so I think we're going to enjoy it for a while.
And thanks for stopping by and telling us about your place down on the Pike.
Certainly, and I think it's a good example that the city of Long Beach is always on the leading edge.
The city is on the leading edge. Always.
Always.
We try to be.
Thanks to our good mayor.
That's correct.
And thanks for taking me on a tour of the police station. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming out here.
They did a fantastic job.
They did. We're very happy to be in.
So, thanks.
Thank you.
And that's our show for this time. Be sure and join us next time as we take another walk through history and uncover more Long Beach treasures.